Okay, so today we're going to do solving systems by elimination. So we learned how to do it by graphing, and then yesterday was substitution. Now we're going to do it by elimination. Substitution was good when we had just a variable on one side, so like an x equals or a y equals. Elimination is going to be good when you have x and y on the both sides for both of your equations. Here's just some basic steps that's going to be helpful to look back at if you're kind of stuck, to make sure that you're on the right step, or if you need to know what your next step is going to be. So like I said, for solving by elimination, it really helps out when the x and the y are on the same side of the equal sign for both of your equations. Okay, what you're looking for is you want to get the coefficient, so the number out in front of one of the variables, to be the same number but opposite signs. So for this one, we have a -4 and a +4. So that's prime setup for elimination. Once you have those, what you're going to do is you're going to add vertically. So we're going to add our x's. So 4x plus -4x gives me 0x, so those eliminate. Okay, then we're going to do our y's. 2y plus 3y equals 5y equals, and now we add our numbers. So 9 plus 16 is 25. Divide by 5. So we're going to have y equals 5. And just like our other ones, we need to go ahead and plug it back in to figure out what the other variable is going to be. So I'm going to take this 5 and plug it in for one of my y's on my equation. I'm going to pick the top one. So I have 4x plus 2 times our y, which is 5, equals 9. Okay, now let's go ahead and solve a little bit. So this is going to be 10. So 4x plus 10 equals 9. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and subtract 10 from both sides. So I have 4x equals -1. Divide both sides by 4. And it's okay that this is a fraction. It's going to be x equals -1/4. Okay, so my point is -1/4, 5. And it's totally fine that that's a fraction. So now when you look at this one, I don't have the same numbers for my x's or for my y's. Okay, this one's a -1 and a 5, and that's a 4 and an 8. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to multiply one of the equations by something in order to line up the numbers. So I'm actually going to multiply all of my things by 5, okay, on that top fraction. Okay, so that's going to give me a -5x plus 20y equals -20. Now I can add vertically, since I have a 5x and a -5x. That adds up to 0. So then I add the next one, which is going to be 12y equals 0. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 12, I'm sorry, and we're going to have y equals 0, because 0 divided by 12 is 0. So now what I can do is I'm going to plug that back in. I'm going to plug it into the bottom equation. So I'm going to have 5x minus 8 times 0 equals 20. Well, 8 times 0 is 0, so that's 5x equals 20. So x equals 4. So plug that as a point for 0. So for this equation, or this system, the 5 and the 1, they're both positive technically, but this I have a -3 and a positive. So since they're opposite signs, I'm going to go ahead and just multiply this bottom one, all of these, by 3, so that I have same number but opposite signs for my y's. Use that real quick. So then I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So that's going to give me, I'm going to rewrite everything. So I have 5x minus 3y equals -1. Okay, and then on the bottom I'm going to have 3x plus 3y equals 9. Now, notice that my y's have the same number but different signs, so that allows me to eliminate. So our actual y's are going to cancel out. So now I have 8x equals, that's going to equal 8, so x equals 1. Okay, Now once I have that, let's plug it back in. I'm going to plug it to the bottom one. So 1 plus y equals 3. Subtract 1 from both sides. Okay, so we have y equals 2. So let's go ahead and write that as a point. 1, 2. All right, for this last one, I have to multiply by something so that my numbers are the same and my signs are opposite. So I have a -2 and a -8. So I'm actually going to multiply by a -4 so that I get a +8 on this top one. So that's going to give me 8x plus let's fix that. -12y equals +12. Okay, I don't need that equation up there, so I'm going to cross it off. So let's go ahead and eliminate. Those cross off. But then if you look at these, 12y minus 12y gives me 0. That's cancels off, so I'm just left with 0 on the left side equals 12. Well, 0 doesn't equal 12. Okay, so that does not equal, so this is no solution. Okay. And the key here is if it ended up canceling out this right side, if this right side equaled 0, then it would be infinite solutions. Okay, just like we kind of talked about yesterday, when the number equaled the number, it was okay. So if it was 0 equals 0, then it was infinite. But since it's just a 12, okay, it's going ahead and just be no solution. All right, and that's it. Go ahead and move on to the next practice problems on your class kick.